All right. Welcome, everyone. Good evening. It is Sunday evening, November something or other, and it's the Sunday before Thanksgiving, and we are gathered here online to talk about how we can have a healthy holiday season, kind of with a specific focus and emphasis on Thanksgiving, because we've got that coming up in about 4 days, and it's a really, really fun time to really stay on track in your health. I know a lot of times people will think, oh, January, I'm going to get on my goals. But I actually did the program during the holidays 2 years ago. And so I can speak from experience and from walking it out that it is totally possible to get healthy during the holidays. And in fact, I'm kind of on a mission this year to flip the script for people, help them to start to think about the holidays that rather than kind of throwing in the towel on health goals and kind of going down a slippery slope of weight gain or just feeling kind of yucky because of, food choices and overly booked and overly busy from like Halloween to New Year's Day. Flip the script on that and say, hey, we don't have to get unhealthy during this time. We can actually get really healthy. So with that, we're going to share tonight about some tips and some tricks, some really good mindset approach to Thanksgiving. And you can apply this to any event, but any holiday, any event. So we'll have mindset, we'll have some heart focus for people, and ways to kind of approach it. So I am going to see someone is off mute. If you're not muted, if you can mute yourself. I don't know if I can do that on my end. Let's see here. If anybody can tell who is okay, I think it's taken care of. Okay, so we're going to talk about a lot of really good stuff tonight. I'm going to start by just sharing my story. Like I mentioned, I did the program 2 years ago. I started on November, I'm not sure what, 5th, maybe somewhere around there. And when I started the program, I was not at all thinking holidays, like what am I going to do? And I was just thinking, I feel really crummy and I really want to make some changes. And I didn't have the right exact mindset. I was really kind of trying to get out of the yucky feeling that I had versus like create my future and build to my goals. And Sarah's going to talk about that in a minute. So I had yet to kind of make that mindset shift, but I did start off the program knowing that I wanted to just really feel better. And so not even thinking like, oh, I'm starting a program right before the holidays. And so when about 2.5 weeks in, I realized it's Thanksgiving and I don't know what I'm going to do, because every single other thing that I had ever tried, program or health approach wise, especially in regards to if I was making any kind of changes to my diet, I was never able to adhere to that on dinners out, holidays. I would always, in the past, I had always strayed, always chosen to go off and never thought that I could actually stay on track for something as big as a holiday like Thanksgiving. So when I was talking with my coach the week of Thanksgiving, I think I was down close to 10 pounds in about 2.5, 3 weeks. And I was just assuming that I would go off because that's what I had always done. And I didn't know how to not. I didn't have the proper understanding of what is possible and how I could do it. And so when I was talking with her, she said, well, why are you sure you want to go off? You've had some really great results and great success to this point. And do you want to consider staying on the program? And I said, well, sure, I guess, but I just don't have any idea how to do that. And so what followed after that was her basically equipping and empowering me, helping walk me through what I could choose and what I could do to stay on track. And I decided that, hey, why not? Why not swap out some of the unhealthier options with something that is on the program? Why not find a healthy option for dessert so I don't feel left out when people have these big fat pieces of pie? And so sure enough, that's what I chose. And I got through Thanksgiving and I stayed on the program. I felt amazing the next day. I didn't feel terrible and overstuffed and yucky. And I went on to stay on the program all the way through the holidays and lost 30 pounds between Halloween and Valentine's Day. So I can tell you that for sure it's possible, and you will be very, very glad that you did. So I'm going to switch over to Sarah. Let me give you kind of a rundown of how we're going to share tonight. So we have there's a couple other amazing coaches that are going to be sharing with you tonight. We're going to talk about something called structural tension, which is going to be a framework for your mindset and how you approach your goals and your motivation. Eling's going to share about your mindset and some of the ways you can consider the choices that you're making. Debbie is going to talk on the practical side about what are some recipe options that we have for the big day. And then we're going to finish with Angela giving you some encouragement, a little coaching pep talk. And after that, we'll turn off the recording. And if you're able to stay and want to ask any questions, we'll do a little Q&A. So Sarah, if you want to take yourself off of mute, I'm going to give you the spotlight and you can take it away.
Sounds good. Hi, guys. I literally took myself off mute a minute ago and my child came in the room. I'm like, ah! So I'm Sarah, and a lot of you guys I know and a lot of you I don't, but Liz is my health coach. And I've been coaching for a little over a year and a half. And coaching for me, when I first started a year and a half ago, I think back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I knew some of these, or I wish I was better equipped with some of these tools that now I am learning about. And so one of the things I want to talk to you guys tonight about is called structural tension. And I'm going to use a little visual that I've seen another health coach use. And so if you've seen her YouTube training, you might recognize it, but hopefully you'll still get a lot out of this. So I'm a big visual person, and so I need to see it. But with Optavia, as you all know, we've got our 4 components. And if you engage in all 4, you can have really amazing success. We think of them as the pillars of our table, right? But if you come into Optavia and you treat it like any other diet, you will most likely fall into that same category of Americans who go on a diet and when they're done, gain that weight right back. But that does not have to be you guys. And we've got some tools. So we want to help you all make those healthy changes that are not by willpower and positive thinking or other gimmicks, but by focusing on your most important goals and determining how you're going to get there. Okay? So having goals is the first step, but that's not enough. We all come in with goals, right? But we need a structure that supports that so that our chances of success go up. So oftentimes, most of the time, as a coach, people call me, text me, message me, get in touch with me because they want to lose weight and want some healthy lifestyle transformation. And so this is I wish I had a rubber band, but this is this is my little visual for you guys. So my fist here is our current reality. Okay, my fingers are you. So you're at your current reality. And so as a coach, we talk about what is your current reality. And a lot of you are in some pretty tough places. We've all been there, on blood pressure medications, borderline diabetic, can't fit into your pants, not sleeping well, knee pain, back pain. And so you're living kind of in this place of uncomfortable situations, pain. And as you start Optavia and you start losing weight, you get further away from that place of pain, right? So you're starting to feel better, your labs are better, maybe you're off your medication. And so this tension is building, but here's the thing, is you're pulling away from your current reality. So as you start feeling better, that's good, but the problem is that you're hooked to this place of pain, okay? And so rather than running towards something good, you're running away from something bad, okay? Does that make sense? And this kind of structure is not going to work. And so let's say, for example, you've lost some weight, you're off your blood pressure medications, you're sleeping better, you feel really good, your pants are buttoning, and it's movie night with your girlfriends or your guy friends. And everyone decides they're going to order a big bowl of popcorn. And you think in your head, well, if I have some popcorn, I'm on the 5 and 1. If I have some popcorn, it's not going to bring me back all the way to my past reality, to where I was. If I'm here, it might just bump me a little bit, right? And then the next day I'll get back on it. So that kind of creates this yo-yoing effect. And you notice you're compromising a little bit. You're kind of occasionally probably having some self-sabotage. So how do we change that mindset just a little bit, so that you change from running away from something to running towards something, okay? So Dr. Anderson says in his book that you need to unhook yourself from this tension being your place of pain, okay? And flip it around and have the tension be pulling you towards your desired outcome. So it's a mindset shift. So think of it like this. So now, let's see if I can do this right. So now I've got my thumb, my fist is my desired state. That is where I want to go to. My fingers are where I'm at. So rather than pulling myself away from my pain, I want to be pulled towards my desired outcome. Does that make sense? So now you're thinking about where your current reality is, and you're not thinking about what you want to get away from, but what you want to get towards, okay? So we need some structure to do this, and I am a big believer in putting pen to paper. I think that solidifies it kind of in our brain, and it creates that more lasting effect even on our mind. And so we have this great, many of you guys have probably seen this structural tension chart. Put a little thumbs up if you guys have seen this. And if not, we can find these for you and send it to you. But at the top here, it's your goal, your desired outcome, and where you want to be. And so spend a little bit of time writing down your goals. And it might be in week increments, it might be in month increments, and it might be a year, or you might have several. Kind of depends on your personality and how long of a journey you've got ahead of you, but you can decide. So desired outcome, and then down at the bottom, you're going to put your current reality, okay? And be really honest with yourself, because we can't get better if we aren't really honest. So be really honest with what your current reality is. So you're creating tension between your desired outcome, your current reality, and we want that to pull us towards our goals. And then in these little steps here, we're going to record and write down those daily steps that you're going to commit yourself to doing. So I hope that that's kind of helpful. I hope that visual helps you guys. Probably a lot of you have heard us talk about the habits of health and how we're not talking about leaving bad habits, but adding in new ones. And I think that visual is really helpful about running towards our goals, not running away from our pain. So get that structural tension chart. Thanks, Liz.
Hey guys, I'm Eling. It's nice to see you tonight. So I'm hopping on with our next topic. And as Sarah just talked about, when we think about our goals and we think about kind of as we approach Thanksgiving, or if you're watching this at a later time, you're approaching a different holiday meal like Christmas, I want you to really think about, first of all, what is the goal that you're running towards? So when you think about gearing up for Thanksgiving or any holiday meal for that matter, or special event, what are the goals that you're running toward? That's what I always encourage people to think about right before we start to plan for that special meal or event. The next question I really encourage people to ask themselves is to say, how important is this meal or this gatherings, food or choices that are there? How important is that one event in relation to your goal? Is it truly worth for you stepping off the path for a moment for a meal? I think one of the things that I have learned through our program and our plan and the way that we approach health and nutrition is the answer could be no, it's not worth stepping off the path. But you know what? It could be yes, it is. There is no right or wrong answer in this. It really is figuring out what feels best for you. And so then when it comes to making those decisions, there really are almost 3 clear-cut options that you can kind of think of or think through when you're approaching a special event or gathering. And so these are the kind of ways that I encourage people to think through those options. So first is stay 100% on plan. That's something that I did last year in my weight loss journey, losing 98 pounds. I didn't get there by straying off plan. I got there through consistency. And one of the things that I found was getting to a healthier place again, running actually toward my dreams where I was I felt free in my body and I didn't feel chained to food and I didn't feel like food controlled me was to stay consistent. So the first option really is to think through staying 100% on plan. I'm here to tell you it is 100% doable. We have so many options that we'll continue to talk about in this call, but that's really the first option to think through and talk through with your coach. The next option is to plan to stay mostly on plan. But if there's a bite or two or small portions of something that do stray from your plan, knowing that if that happens, you're going to be okay with that. You're not going to beat yourself up on that. And if that one bite or that small portion keeps you from feeling severely restricted and binging later, it may be an option for you to consider. And then the third option is to say, you know what, this meal, I'm going to go off plan. I'm not really going to think about plan. I'm just going to walk through this meal. I don't think there's a right or wrong. I think it's really looking at what you're running toward and making the decision that feels best for you in conjunction with your coach. For me last year, that was 100% staying on plan. But the beauty, I think, of how we approach nutrition and food is that this is a lifelong journey. And the more we can learn skills for decision making and pre-planning as we move into our large events, the better off we'll be in the long run. So I hope this helps as you're thinking through your decision making when you get ready for your holiday meals. The last thing I would say too is, no matter what you decide in those three areas, make sure when you're going into the meal, one of the things that I learned a lot was focus on the people, the interaction, and what's happening around you more than the food. So often we focus on food as the connector, when really, look people in the eye, ask them how they are, be really focused and interested on what's happening in their life. I have found so often that when I focus on that at those gatherings, I come back so much more fulfilled than when my 100% focus was on food. So anyway, we'll pass it along to Debbie now for some additional great tips.
Thank you, Eileen. I agree with what you said as far as, just going with your heart and not having to worry about it, and knowing that the plan is going to go through regardless. You're just going to do what's best for you. And it's important to focus on the people versus the actual food, because that's the most important thing. Our families and our loved ones are the most important things that should be our focus. So, but I'm going to be talking to you about the different recipes that we can interchange, and as far as the different favorite meals that we are parts of the holiday meal that we can interchange with this. The first one is going to be the creamy mashed potatoes that we all love, and the gravy. There is another way of switching them up, and you can use something called creamy mashed cauliflower, and it's delicious. I've tried it. And the gravy for that, and I don't recall what the gravy is made of, but I do know that the cauliflower, the mashed potatoes are wonderful. I would highly recommend those. And then there are also some rosemary cauliflower rolls, which would take the place of our wheat rolls or those other rolls that are generally at a family gathering. There's also a cauliflower stuffing, which you obviously notice that cauliflower is our primary item, and it is very nutritious and it's very filling, and the more you cook with it, the more you will start enjoying it. The next item is the green bean casserole. We have a revised version of that. There's also two different kinds of pies that are wonderful. There's a mock coconut pie in place of our, whether it be the chocolate pie or the pumpkin pie. So there's a lot of opportunity to experiment. There's another one called the baked kabocha or crustless pumpkin pie, which we had at Liz's house last year when we had our gathering, and it was very good. I remember somebody had brought it, and it was extremely, it was very refreshing, and people enjoyed it, and I didn't feel like had I had something like that at our family gathering, it would have been acceptable. It would have been something I would have enjoyed. So the other thing that you can bring is, things like sugar-free Jell-O, cranberry. There's a recipe that we have for cranberry Jell-O sauce in place of the cranberries. So there's many options out there that you don't have to feel deprived by watching the rest of your family eat everything and you're not able to do this. So I'd recommend trying these recipes. They will be posted on our event page, and I'd suggest that you just go in and I'm not sure when they'll be posted, probably tomorrow sometime. And they'll definitely be out there, and take a look at them, try them, and it'll be interesting to see what everyone thought about them. So that's primarily it. I do have a thing too. I had also written down a couple of things. I know that Angela is next, and she's going to talk about motivation and also encouragement. But one thing that I wanted to mention is to plan ahead and visualize what the day is going to look like. Just visualization is so important as you're going through this. Look at the day, visualize what you're going to be doing, what you're going to be wearing, who you're going to be talking to. Focus more on the people, because that's really important, rather than the food. So with that, I will turn you over to Angela. And like I said, she's going to give all of us encouragement. So thank you and have a great holiday.
Hi there. I'm really excited to be with you today. This is the weekend where my family kicks off the holiday season, because we split up holidays between my family and my husband's family. And so it just already feels like there's a lot of excitement and anticipation around our house with the family gatherings and holiday preparations and parties kind of kicking off. But I always feel like this time of year has so much excitement, and with that, it sometimes feels like the holiday season can't correlate with your health goals, but it can, I promise you, because I've done it just like all these other wonderful women have. And so I'm here to tell you, you do not need to choose between enjoying the holidays and focusing on your health goals. You really can do both. This past week when I was talking to my clients, I encouraged them to set an intention for Thanksgiving. And that kind of refers to what Eileen talked about. What is your plan for Thanksgiving? Are you able to stay on 5 and 1? Maybe you are in a optimal health part of your journey. Maybe you're trying to just stick to a few bites, and that's going to be your indulgence for the day. Or like Eileen said, maybe you're going to go off plan for that meal and then jump back on. Choose your plan and make a goal to stick to it. And then the second thing I asked my clients to do is to choose a goal for the remainder of 2018. And I think that those can be two separate goals for yourself, but it's good to think about it one meal at a time, one day at a time, but then also what's your goal for January 1st, 2019? So in terms of looking ahead, take it one day at a time. And as these other women have said, plan it out, prepare, go. It's like when we talk about going to a restaurant, check out the menu ahead of time, make your goal, or set your plan for what you're going to eat, and that way you're not staring at the menu feeling tempted to go off plan. Do the same thing for Thanksgiving. Bring a dish or something that you plan to eat. Don't assume other people don't want to eat your healthy food. I promise you, if you put veggies out that are cut up and sitting out there, people will eat them. So bring something that you're excited to share. And then just know that if there's not going to be a healthy option for you, bring a fueling. Eat ahead of time and bring a fueling. And that's okay. That's a great strategy. And then once you're at that party, you're gathering, like others have said, focus on the people, focus on what you're celebrating, why you're there. And it's funny that Eileen said maintain eye contact, because that is something I really strive to do. Instead of the mindless eating where you're kind of looking at your plate, or, oh, I'm trying not to eat that over there. Look at the people you are communicating with and connect with them. You're going to feel so much more fulfilled when you leave. The other suggestion I have is to take that conversation away from the table of food so you're not grazing or tempted to graze. And then my other tip is to have a glass of water or a cup of coffee in your hand at all times, because that makes it less likely for someone to offer you something. So they're not going to say like, oh, do you want something to drink? Like, oh, I've got my water here or my coffee. I'm going to finish it up and then I'll grab something on my own. And that just puts you in power to make those choices rather than someone serving you. Make sure that you don't get obsessed with the no's, like, no, I can't have that. No, I'm not doing that. That's going to really set a negative tone to your holidays. Instead, I encourage you to focus on the yeses. Yes, I get to wear clothes that fit better. Wear something that you feel comfortable in that shows off your success. Yes, I'm excited to share a new recipe. Yes, I'm excited to be part of the activities that I've avoided in the past. I can create new and healthy traditions with my family. And then, yes, I'm working with an optimal health coach and I've got goals. So you made the commitment to improving your health and you owe it to yourself to stick to your plan and make it work because it's important to you. So choose to embrace the holidays and your health goals. Lean on your coach and this awesome community. And I encourage you to enjoy the holidays in a very healthy way this year.
Whoop, trying to get myself off mute. Sorry about that. Thank you so much, Angela, and all of you guys. Holy cow. I'm just sitting here like taking notes and feeling so encouraged and inspired. I mean, I'm not just saying that. Like, you guys have such great things to share, and it's just, it's really exciting to think about, like Angela was saying, like embracing the holidays and embracing your health at the same time, because what a gift that is. So I hope this has been encouraging, inspiring, empowering, equipping. That was kind of what we were going for. Hopefully we got fairly close to the target. But yeah, I'm really excited. It's a fun season. It's a fun time of year to be with family, be with friends. The focus should be on family and friends and not food and not all the things we're buying, the material side of it. And so we have this great opportunity to have a really good excuse to focus on what it's supposed to be all about in the first place. So with that, I think we're going to kind of say goodbye as far as recording goes. And then for those of us who are here live, we can do a little Q&A if anyone has questions. But yeah, I do want to kind of just end with a reminder of what Angela said. Lean on your coach. Like, we are not off duty per se on Thanksgiving to like not be excited to get a text from you saying either, oh my gosh, I did it, or help me do it. We're totally here for you. Text us and pop into Unleashed and put up a post and brag on yourself. Lean on the community, lean on your coach. Utilize all the components this week. Go in the Habits of Health book and read the chapter on structural tension that Sarah did a phenomenal job teaching on. I mean, that concept, I've always struggled with it. Honestly, I'm going to like put myself out there as a coach. I've always like struggled with like kind of grasping like how to, and that was awesome. I feel like I've heard that multiple times, and Sarah, you did an awesome job. It just like clicked for me. So yeah, so do all of those things, use all of those tools, and know that we are all behind every one of you. So happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. This can be for any time of year, Easter, Valentine's Day, 4th of July. But we know that you will have a great, successful, healthy holiday, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.